What up, YouTube? Nathan Heightz here, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on my trip to Mexico, or the things that I learned once arriving at Mexico, once spending some time there, and once returning, right? So, the footage you are watching right now is footage from Tijuana. It's pretty much the second day I was there, just driving around. The uncle of my fiance was showing us some of the city, and we were just simply driving around seeing where my fiance's parents used to live before they came to the United States and things of that nature, right? So I actually slowed down the footage because it was a little fast, and I felt like it would give some of you guys a headache watching it traveling so fast. So I slowed it down to 50%. It'll also allow you guys to get a better look of the state of the architecture and basically the urban decay that is going on down there in Tijuana, Mexico, right? Because I know there's a lot of people down there who say they want to move to Mexico, but they don't really understand the state of, just the quality of life out there, right? So, in my opinion, it takes a very special person to want to go down to Mexico and live there. Myself, being one of those people, it really depends on what your values are. And, if you value, a beautiful, nice looking house and you want to live in TJ, it's going to be very hard to do that without, sticking out, right? Without sticking out from the crowd, especially if you're white. This is something that you definitely want to think about. I know there's people out there who like to have the nice car, who like to have the nice house, the nice pool, and going down to TJ, that might not really be your best option, right? Now, if you're someone like me who wants to go down and experience the culture that's really going on down there, the lifestyle that a Mexican lives down there, at least a middle-class Mexican, then moving to TJ might be something for you. Now, as far as dangers are concerned, my initial impression, upon crossing was like, damn, this is a pretty dangerous place. I mean, it's got to be dangerous. The police are walking around with, I don't know if they're fully automatic machine guns, but they have automatic weapons, and they cover their faces. A lot of the federal police, at least, have their faces covered at all times, even if it's hot, even in 100-degree weather. So the place is a little dangerous if they're walking around like that. So upon first crossing the border, the first thing we did is we drove to the right, and we went down this road until we hit Playas de Tijuana, which means the Tijuana beaches, right? That's the name of the area. We went there. We had a coconut. They put a straw in it. We drank the juice, and then they cut the coconut in half, and they served it to us with chili, man. It was delicious. I loved it. And the first thing I noticed when I got to the beach is that there are a lot of beggars, right? There's a lot of people begging. There's a lot of people trying to sell stuff, like, basically begging, like saying, look, I'm looking for donations for my church, and I'm willing to give you a candy bar if you make a donation of $2-3, right? So they're in Tijuana. They're obviously aimed at the tourists. They're trying to touch the tourist's heart, because every native Mexican that I've seen there either got walked right past, they weren't asked, or they simply just said, maybe next time, maybe next time. So that's basically like a tourist trap, in my opinion. But then again, these places really do need donations, so it's hard to really say where these people's hearts are at. If you're feeling like helping someone out, help them out. If not, the truth is you're not going to be able to help them all, because literally in the time we spent sitting down eating our coconut, we were asked by at least three different groups of people, and yeah, so it's a little tough. The next thing I noticed upon walking the beach after we ate our coconut, I noticed the beach was a lot more alive. It wasn't completely packed like you would see in Malibu or over here in California. There was a lot of people, right? It wasn't that dirty, to be honest. The trash wasn't that bad. There was a lot of signs saying to please pick up your trash. That's how we're going to keep this place nice. But there was mariachis on the beach singing, playing songs and people dancing on the beach to mariachi music with real live instruments. And to me, that was amazing. I really enjoyed watching people dance. And, for a country of a lot of poor people, these people looked happy, right? So it was very nice, and I enjoyed seeing that. So we spent a little bit of time there, and after leaving, we went back to the place where my fiance's uncle lives. Now, at this point, he asked us what are our thoughts on Mexico so far, because it was my fiance's first time there, my first time in TJ. I usually go to Tecate, which is a little bit more to the east, and he wanted to know what were our initial thoughts, and we were both like, it's amazing. Yes, the streets aren't perfectly paved, and a lot of the architecture has graffiti. I mean, like probably 90% of every building has graffiti on it. It's pretty crazy, but it was full of culture. It was a lot more alive, and it was also a lot more humble, and that was our initial opinion. So her uncle told us that that's only because we have not seen the bad side of Mexico yet. That's what he told us. And it was almost in a humble way. He mentioned where they had lived was not that nice, and he said, wait until we get to the hills, los cerros, right? Wait until we get to the hills. So we drove, and we start reaching these hills, and basically, if you've ever seen, uh, you know, the Hulk movies where they find that dude, the Hulk, I forget the name of his character, and they find him in Brazil or Thailand or something, and just basically like the favelas, right, that you see in movies, like of a hill with a bunch of houses up and down the hill. This is basically what this place looked like. It looked, pretty bad by United States standards, the United States of America standards, but you know, my initial impression, to be honest, in all honesty, things like this do not bother me. So it looked bad, but to me it looked adventurous, and I understand why a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Hispanics might want to move to the United States if they've been living in this their whole life. It's not new to them. It's not, adventurous. It's simply poverty, right? And they don't know anything better. So, anyways, upon, getting there to their house, a lot of the houses looked run down, and upon seeing their house, I didn't really know what to expect. I was a little bit apprehensive once they were starting to tell us that their place was not nice and that we might not like it that much. And honestly, upon entering, I was amazed. So their house had a big front gate lock, their windows all, bars, steel bars, the garage, steel bars, everything that was protected, steel bars. Any place of entrance from the outside was protected with steel bars. So upon entering the house, right, which had some graffiti on it, didn't look the best from the outside, but upon entering, the house was amazing. I mean, by United States standards, I would rather live in one of these houses. Like, the architecture was just so different. It was well done, right? And these houses look so small from the outside, but on the inside, they are just so huge. You go upstairs, you go to the back of the house, they have like a backyard balcony. It goes down to a garage, which fits at least 5 cars. Like, honestly, it was pretty amazing. Now, you have to keep in mind, rent in Mexico and Tijuana, depending on where you go, is very cheap, like very, very cheap, like $200 to $350 a month United States currency, and like a place like this for that cheap is just ridiculous. Like, you'd have to see it to believe it. Now, on the outside, not so well, but inside, behind these protected steel bars, you would see very beautiful, well-made houses, nicely painted, everything nice, big screen TV. Like, I was really surprised, and honestly, to me, it was like a little piece of paradise. I really enjoyed it so much. So, maybe next time I'll take pictures of the inside of the house if her family is, comfortable with that, and we can go from there. But another impression that I had driving around is there are lots of dogs. I mean, there are dogs everywhere. It's something that you can't escape. There, maybe on every corner, there's a dog starving. Now, this is a little sad. This is just a part of life. I know that the dogs are also a lot nicer too. I mean, I just saw people going about their day with dogs everywhere. Like, they weren't vicious like they are here in the United States, because I guess out there they're more accustomed to being out and about. Now, this is my first video. I'm going to be posting another video speaking a little bit more. If you want to, listen to that or see that, you might want to go check that out. It'll be up in the next 2 days. And I'm going to be basically talking about my experience that night, safety in Mexico. Can you go out at night in Mexico? And that's basically going to be the topic of the discussion. Now I'm going to try to find the best of my footage that I got here and keep it interesting so you guys can watch it and enjoy it. With that being said, thank you guys. Los amo. Y nos vemos pronto. Paz.